Well, instant. Morning. Good afternoon, folks. Wherever you are today, I know you kind of thinking what's going on, especially with the background. You can see my background. Uh, I'm trying to be, or we are trying to be more engaged with nature. So today we just decided to choose a very different background. Of course, we're in the bush, so this is Liberia. Wherever the issue is supposed to be, that is exactly where we choose. We choose whatever background, whatever terrain to go in and have our discussion. Uh, so we not specific as to where particularly we will sit and talk, but I don't really think that a particular area matters. At KTV, we are basically trying to be available and accessible and even very mobile, where we can be able to sit anywhere at any time, and talk about important issues that affect or that are affecting Liberia. So it doesn't matter the terrain, as you can see in my background. You see let me just ask my cameraman to just switch a little bit so you can see where I'm sitting right now in this very very I'm in love with with the flora. This is flora. In agriculture world, they say flora and fauna. The flora are the plants, and the fauna are the animals. I think we will be corrected. So you see the background. Let me just leave out a bit. You see these trees. This beautiful palm. I'm in a palm bush. Palm nut trees. These tall trees. You want to just see how the terrain looks. This is nature. We love nature and we like to be in uh in uh in corresponding. We like to correspond with nature so that we can be able to smell fresh air out of the hush hush politics, after all of the aside from all of the tough notch talking, the all of the issues that we are faced with consistently or persistently. We are very positive about the well-being of our country, Liberia, no matter what the situation is. That's why we want to use as many backgrounds as possible. It doesn't matter, right? This should not be an issue because what matters most is uh, uh, what is to be discussed. Okay, so come on live, come, and just come, and you might be able to. I want to see at least few people coming on so that we can start this discussion. It's getting tense and tense every day. It's getting tense up every day. Okay, so this is KTV, Liberia. This is at KTV Liberia. We are definitely not in any form of competition. We are not in the business of doing what others do. What we try to do make most of the time that we have, and to always hit our platforms to talk about issues that are of essence, issues that definitely tend to shift the continent of Africa, the country of Liberia, as you know, this is an election year, so it is not very strange. There are lots and lots of things to do. There are lots and lots of things to do, uh, to talk about. So, okay. So, come on, let this let this live get engaged. Let this live feed get engaged. There are a lot of things to talk about. As you're currently aware, the Liberian National Police is at the point of inducting the former Chief Justice Glorious Musu Scott. What you make of it? What you think about it? There are a lot of issues surrounding the case of the Shalom Musu. Shalom Musu was murdered in the premises of the former Chief Justice, and of course that case continues to drag on. And as it stands, latest is that the police, or the Liberian National Police, the Liberian National Police, the Liberian National Police is contemplating on, whether they should indict her. But the reasons of the indictment are not really being made clear. But accordingly, the Chief Justice, or the Justice Minister, uh, uh, is the one who is slowing the pace on that indictment for some reasons, and that case continues. That case continues. Okay, so I just want you to feel, and come on and see, look at my face, what my physical appearance. It should really matters. It doesn't matter anyway. But what matters most is the message that we're about to spread out here this morning, or this afternoon, depends on whatever part of the world you are. Or even tonight as well. Once we on the net, or we on the social platform, we know that it's Facebooking. We definitely can be certain or particular about what time of the day it is. As you can see in the color, or in the back of your camera, is daytime in Liberia. Most likely, or right about now, it is the morning hours. It's about make it few minutes to 12 midday. So we just want to warm up a bit, so that we can talk a lot about what the current status of Liberia politically. And there's lot, like I said, there's lot of things to talk about. So uh, as you are coming on, just keep coming, share our videos, and let's make sure that we reach a certain amount of viewers. 10 will start to tell you what is going on, what is happening, how this country is edging up towards a watershed moment, an election that continues to be, a very, very, very crucial one. The road leading to the 2023 elections, all hands are on deck, both internationally and locally. People trying to get involved into what the election is, or what it will be. And it's just it, it, it's just fortunate that we Liberians have an opportunity, you know, to read our own path, to read our own future. Yes, this is a sovereign country, but never before have we had the opportunity to be so engaged into our political processes than now. Gone are the days when we were on obligation to live in fear of guns, and guns toting, all around. People were living in absolute fear. There was never a time when people could freely speak their mind. There was a time in this country when people could not freely speak their mind. There was a time in this country when people never had the opportunity, and to just sit on whatever platform and say whatever they want to say. That is one thing we should be grateful for right now: the freedom of speech. For whatever side of the divide you find yourself, the freedom of speech is what matters. The freedom of speech we have is what matters. The proliferation of press freedom. Every tongue taken highway have the right to do or say what you want to say, however they want to say. But we are very optimistic that despite the situation, despite the issues, we are so much engaged into this process. We who have the opportunity to sit on our various platforms to speak, we want to keep encouraging our people, keep encouraging those who have the opportunity to go uh, to the battle box, right? Those who have the opportunity to go at the battle box, is a choice for us to go there and make a decision that will not serve only us but our children's children, because it's an opportunity, right? We can't just sit back and say, oh, because my pa not running for election, or my auntie not running for election, or my uncle not running for election. Most of the time we will pass around, we hear people saying these things, right? It doesn't matter who or what is in the election. What matters most is that your country, the stability of your country is involved. So to do that, you must be able to understand that voting, or whatever form of civil privilege you have, it is your right to exercise or not to exercise, but it's also incumbent upon you as a citizen, to make the right choice or to go to the ballot box. Even if you don't make the right choice, you go to the ballot box. Whatever choice you make, depending on what conscience you have or what side of the coin of the divide you find yourself, you will make that decision for your own conscience sake. So it doesn't really have to be, somebody telling you what to go and do, what to go and who to go and vote for. What matters most is that we have a choice to make. We definitely have a choice to make. So, like I said, come on, let's. Like I said, there's a lot of things to talk about. We want to start right now. We already started with the case of the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, and the Liberian National Police, according to reports, are trying to raise an indictment against the former Chief Justice on grounds that she allegedly have a hand into the death of her daughter. Whether that is true, because there are a lot of issues surrounding that particular statement. There are a lot of issues, a lot of concerns are being raised as it relates to why is the national police taking that route. Because this lady, once upon a time, we know that when that issue happened, she raised a line almost two different times before the incident with Shala Musu happened. Unfortunately, the police did not turn up. The police did not go there, only for us the nation or the country to wake up the next day and hear that Shala Musu have been killed by an assailant, somebody who entered into the house. Similarly, according to what the former Chief Justice has been complaining about, somebody breaking into a house or over. But there are a lot of things that are happening in our case, right? Politically, some people in some hidden hands are trying to get at each other for whatever reason. Some people are trying to make sure that their points are heard, or their positions are made known in whatever way they want to do it. But these are issues that have the propensity to cause serious calamity, especially at this time of our democracy, right? To have a former chief justice and involved is or at the verge of being indicted. Whatever that case is, we're not judging or we're not in a position to say yes, what the police is saying is right or what the police is saying is wrong. But what happens or whatever happens in the outcome of that case, we are definitely hoping that justice be done, because that lady or that girl was murdered. She was murdered cold-bloodedly, and until now, there's not a clear suspect. The last time we checked or we heard, it was the city mayor who, to some extent, have thrown everything into the weight for claiming his innocence. One of his men was also being pointed out. Until now, we still don't know what is unfolding with that particular issue. But as it stands, we know that the police is preparing an indictment for whatever reasons. We listen to the CDC chairman, Chairman Molu, the ruling party chairman. He talked about the mother of Shala Musu is involved. So maybe it could be based on that the police, is trying to raise an indictment against the former chief justice. But we still following that issue. Maybe early next week or maybe before the end of this week, we might hear a new development as it relates to the case of the late Shala Musu. Peace be to her ashes. She died innocently for whatever. Somebody tried to get at somebody for whatever reason, and she was just caught up in that web. Sometimes people died, or people are involved into incidents like these, and it becomes very troubling. It becomes very worrisome. Innocent people, and just lost their lives only because of some people trying to get at each other for whatever reason. We're not saying that there's somebody in the government or somebody anywhere who's trying to get at the justice minister. We don't have proof to that. What we're saying is that this could be, circumstances wherein somebody is trying to measure arm, because the chief justice, as we have heard, she's one of the biggest lawyers in the country, and she's involved with a lot of the opposition cases. She's involved with a lot of the opposition cases. Whatever the situation is, what we want is that justice should be done. That is the kind of Liberia we're hoping, or we want. We want a Liberia where justice can be done for not just because of people who are formerly big people or people who are well known. It should cut across. The death of Shala Musu should not go in vain, or it should not be a case where they will tell us that they're investigating. At the end of the day, we will not hear any outcome. We are hoping that the security apparatus remain consistent in going into the issue, doing whatever necessary investigation that they can do consistently, so that we can have the opportunity, to know exactly what have happened. We need to know what have happened, and we need to know the nitty gritty, because that lady, on two different occasions. That lady on two different occasions, that lady raised an alarm. For someone of that status to raise an alarm of insecurity, and the police did not go there, that alone is a sign of it's a serious concern, right? A former chief justice called the national security apparatus and said, my house is not safe. I've noticed that people have been trying to break into my house for the past 2 days, and the police, during the time of those calls, the police did not attend. Only on the 4th day, or maybe the 3rd day, we heard that somebody lost their life, because all along there are some people been trying to enter the house. Then we see there's a new turn in the case, where the person who wants to come. It happens, right? It happens. There are a lot of crime cases where the people who tend to be the victims, who appear to be the victims, sometimes they are the perpetrators. But there are a lot of issues in this case. A lot of unseen hands. A lot of people are in it. A lot of people are under the wall. The only way, or the only thing we can do, is to follow it consistently and implore our security apparatus to remain consistent on the case, on this particular case, to not allow sentiment or maybe political interest to cloud this particular case. Let us know what is happening. Liberians wants to be safe, especially in this election year. This election year is a year that people need to see that the next government is going to make a difference. Whether it's continuity or it's going to be a new government, whatever the case is, Liberians want the hope that yes, indeed, we are on a path of of justice. We are on the path of peace. We've maintained this peace for so long. Let's be able to engage ourselves so that we can be able to make this country better for us. That's the focus. That's the point. We're not we're not showing pointing any accusing hands at anybody, but from the way things are going now, it seems as though you know the Liberian National Police, based on their investigation, they are taking another turn. Many persons have started to talk about it. In fact, it's even trending that the former Chief Justice is to be indicted. For what? That is why we're still hoping to hear. That is why we're still looking up to see when when this indictment will be, or why would this indictment be when this person have complained, and maybe the investigation have proven that she's involved. If that's the case, let the police be able to come out swiftly and promptly to tell us so that we can be able to lead. There are a lot of cases in this government or during this time or this regime that we have been told that they've been investigating. Until now, we don't know what is happening. We don't know exactly, or we haven't gotten the final, that final, result on the case, right? But we're hoping that they should not be laid to rise, because a lot of issues have been raised in a short time as it relates to the death of Shalom Musu, somebody who was supposed to graduate, somebody who was to be a graduate, somebody who have stayed their time in school only to have their life taken away, out of true vengeance or whatever. We don't know the reason why. That's why we have our apparatus to investigate. So we're hoping that they take upon themselves to do the best thing, to do the best thing, so that they can investigate this case properly, and it should not just be swept on the carpet. The truth should not be swept on the carpet. It should be brought up. People who are involved, or people who are connected to this case, whether allegedly, who are perpetrators or whatever, they should be brought to justice. That's what we want to see. That's the kind of Liberia we want to see. We don't want to have case, maybe a murder case. After a few times people talk about it, then after some time you just see, the whole case just data. That's how Liberia have always been, right? We want a new dimension. We want a new situation where things will change. When there is a case of murder, it should be investigated properly, and the findings in that particular case should be out so that the public can know. So the public can know that this person have committed this crime, and whatever penalty they deserve, they'll be served. So our next thing is you remember over the course of last week, Vice President Joseph Boakai was in Buchanan, and a lot of things, a lot of statements were made. And a lot of issues were being talked about, and we can't just read through all of those issues that will be spoken about, but we'll just look at few important things that was being talked about. All eyes right now is on the opposition, because people are hoping, most Liberians, although they are not surely and solely about whether the opposition can actually hold or stand to become formidable against the ruling party, but people looking to see what would the collaboration be like with Joseph Boakai and Zana Cummings finally come together. As we've heard, as we've been following, those are things that are trying to work in the background. The last time we saw a group of supporters storming the headquarters of the ANC, storming the headquarters of the Unity Party, calling for the situation between Joseph Boakai and Zana Cummings to be quelled, to be solved, so that they can come together. But is that possible? Is it possible for us to see these two older men come together to serve the cause? If they come together, can that be the reason why the government will not get a second term? Those are questions that come to mind. Is that enough? If that's not the case, who else you think is strong enough, to make this government not see a second term? The issues are very numerous. The questions are many. But Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, the senator of Grand Bassa County, respond to the Supreme Court ruling on the Liberty Party leadership. The political leader of the Liberty Party, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, addressed to partisans and supporters of the Liberty Party and that was on April 15th in Buchanan. So she spoke clearly. She said, for now, what we're going to do right now, we're not going to leave that case because you know the Supreme Court has ruled already in favor of Musa Beliti, and he stands as the chairman of the Labour Party. But Yombli Kanga is saying that the rulings were not just, and they're going to follow up that case. They're going to follow up that case, and they're going to do everything to make sure that turns around. But as of now, what they need to do or what they are going to do is to focus. The opposition needs to have a focus. You can't be helter skelter. Then you say you're going to battle and win the ruling party that already organized. You already see the many joining party, people joining party over and over already. You already see what's happening, right? You have to be focused. Only having your eyes set on the prize. I know there will always be battle. I am comfortably seated. And in charge already. You got a popular president. President we are is still a popular president. Until you can prove me wrong. Until you can prove me wrong. Until this this school or maybe pundits or intellectuals who have who are really into defending the opposition, until you can prove me wrong. Is George Weah not a very popular president? Is he not popular? Can't you see? Everywhere he goes, people don't seem to cease for whatever reason, right? Everywhere the president goes, there's always a crowd there to welcome him. It's not ordinary, right? I agree. It's the president, so most often people will say, but there are places we know that Ellen went. Sometimes former President Ellen, there are places she went where people gathered and people were not there because of her. She did not raise the kind of crowd that she had. At this time, the president is still going to an election. The president is still as popular as that. And the president has it's in a party. The CDC, remind you now, the original CDC, the Congress for Democratic Change, currently they have no major dispute among themselves. So let's say it is the NPP or maybe amongst those collaborations, it is the NPP mainly that have had these issues. But as you can see, the guys are trying to put the differences aside. They're trying to make sure that they forget about all the wrangling, the toggling, and all the kind of hustle and bustling, you know, so that they can focus. Politics is a battle. It's a civil battle, especially electionary process. It's a civil battle, right? So if you're not prepared, if you're not engaged, if you're not put yourself in a position where you will cancel dispute and you know disloyalty, and you spare out some things that will move your collaboration further, you know, you might be in a serious mess, a very serious mess. Whoever wins the election on October 10th, a day just after my birthday, whoever wins the elections, you know, will definitely be the president. If President Weah remains, fine. We want to inaugurate him in January. If the opposition wins, or whoever, if Joseph Barker wins, we will inaugurate him in January. But if the opposition really wants, because most of the things, most of the politics that is going on now, people are looking at the opposition to see whether they will come out clearly, and, you know, and be able to have a front or one front. What are they going to be saying? What are they going to? Who is going to be the main thing? We already know of Joseph Boakai, Alexander Cummings. We know this dispute has been on for ever so long. We know already. We know these guys have found it very difficult to get along. That's why the CPP was split. And even as now, the issues are still there. This issue has now still been resolved. Just when they're trying to consider, you know, coming back together. Until now, we're not clear with who is going to be Joseph Boakai's running mate. I think that could be some reason why it has been delayed. It's been delayed. We've heard talks about Yombli Bean. We've also heard talks about Jeremiah Kuhn. Up to now, we have not gotten a final person yet. The old man said he's not in rush to name his running mate. He's not owing anybody running mate. Maybe you owe the party, eh? But the very supporters, these are the people who can cause the fire. These are the people who don't seem, it's very difficult because of the kind of differences people have amongst themselves in political thinking. You know, people think differently when it comes to politics. So as a result, they always sow seed of confusion amongst the politicians. Sometimes it's difficult to quell. Sometimes it's difficult to maintain. As a result, if it is not handled properly, it becomes a serious problem for for your political process for the political process. But good is that this is not an issue that is between the ruling party and the opposition. It's between opposition, ruling party, ruling party. At the end of the day, we shall have reached to the stage where people will come face to face because there will be debates. Although we know there are people who don't go to debate, people who have said that debate is not doesn't matter, and that's their star, and they are victorious with that star and that mentality. But until that time reaches, it is clear that the oppositions need to do something about their togetherness. If until now you guys cannot find a common ground, cannot find reason to settle your issues, what are you gonna do? You're not going to beat people. You're not going to win the election in the kind of state. Let's be frank, right? We gotta be frank about it. We can't be, be beating around the bush or be thinking that because, because if God says faith will all work, that what kind of faith? It's a dead faith. If you will win, you must work. If you will eat, you must work. No food for lazy man, right? No food for lazy man. Everybody got their supporters. Every supporters got their supporter. Every supporter got followers. Every followers got followers. So no matter what side of the coin you are, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to think that as Liberians, we have the opportunity to shift the paradigm. To shift the paradigm, to make sure that we to make sure that we are able to speak to the importance of making our country a better place, right? We're not going to consistently or sit down and backbite or maybe talk about, although these are the issues that will most likely come to the fruit, but we always have to be consistent. We always have to understand the issues. We don't have to be pitting people against each other. Yes, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. So we are very much concerned about how the political atmosphere goes. We're very much concerned about how the election process will be. As you are aware, the voter registration is ongoing in the other counties already. And we wishing the NEC or the National Elections Commission a successful voter registration. We've seen results already from the first 5 counties, and the numbers of voters are a bit encouraging. And we are hoping that these statistics be consistently published so that every step of the way people can know the numbers, because that's what election is. Election is about numbers. The numbers will be counted. People should be able to count the numbers. The numbers should be counted. If for any reason anybody or anyone who is somewhere thinking that they are trying to do anything out of the way, it's not going to work, because first of all, Liberians are not going to give you the face to come here and misbehave. No, we're not misbehave. We're hoping that we are able to have a peaceful election. All the candidates, those who are vying for the various representative seats and the various issues, it's good. As the situation goes on, as the situation unfolds, we're hoping that whatever happens, we're hoping that the election process in our country remains peaceful. A recipe for chaos. Kanga Lawrence turns Supreme Court ruling in the LP leadership fracas. Yombly Kanga Lawrence termed the ruling of the Supreme Court a complete nonsense, right? She said the term as a recipe for chaos, the recent ruling of the Supreme Court regarding the long-running leadership fracas in the LPP. Following a prolonged legal battle arising out of the leadership squabble between the two factions within the Labour Party, headed by Musa Belede and Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, respectively, the Supreme Court recently ruled ruled validating Musa Belete's faction as the legitimate leadership of the Liberty Party. That was the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruling says Musa Belete is the legitimate chairman. So it means that the faction of Liberty Party that is under Musa Belete is the legal faction of the Liberty Party. The real Liberty Party people are the people that have Musa Belete as their leader. So the other people then who honor Yombli, the Supreme Court say, we now recognize it. Immediately after the court's ruling, Belete in a communication reaffirmed a previous decision announcing the expulsion of Senator Kanga Lawrence as political leader of the LP. By the time the Supreme Court passed that ruling, Musa Belete, you remember once upon a time, Musa Belete wanted to have expelled Yombli Kanga Lawrence from the party. But that was later rushed because of the legal battle. Yombli fought strongly against it. In fact, this is one of the places where the former Chief Justice was involved. In fact, she's a lawyer to Yombli Lawrence. You know that very well. So this is the case. This is the situation that have been going on for a long time. So by the time the Supreme Court did that pronouncement recently, the guy went back. Musa Belete went back now and re-announced the expulsion of Yombli Kanga Lawrence from the party. So the public ordered the members of the public, including politicians and political institutions, to be free from conducting business pertaining to LP with the Basa Senator. Musa Belete reaffirmed that after he did that before, that expulsion, called everybody, both politicians and whosoever, not to do business with Yombli Kanga Lawrence, because according to him, she's not the legitimate leader of the Liberty Party that has been recognized by the Supreme Court. Anyone other than Liberty Party National Executive Committee honor his ability leadership as chairman of the party. Nobody should do business with Senator Lawrence, according to Musa Belete. Also, we kindly inform you that Senator Kanga Lawrence is no longer the political leader of the Liberty Party. Quote, this is a quote quickly from Musa Belete. Senator Kanga Lawrence was expelled from the position of the political leader in March 2022 and appealed to the Supreme Court to validate the expulsion on the basis that the LP National Executive Committee did not have the authority to expel her because the LP 2021 Special National Convention that voted the National Executive Committee into leadership in the Constitution that came out of that Special National Convention were both illegitimate. Belete said that particular place that made her to be the standard bearer or maybe the political leader, that particular committee that came together, they were illegitimate. They didn't have the right to do what they did. Belete in his communication added that the recent SC ruling, Supreme Court ruling, has explicitly addressed both matters by declaring that both LP 2021 Special National Convention and the resulting constitution are legitimate and that the LP National Executive Committee is constitutionally clothed with the authority to manage the affairs of the Liberty Party. Asking Yombli Kanga Lawrence. As per the National Constitution, okay, so we ask therefore that you please refrain from conducting business pertaining to LP with anyone other than the National Executive Committee under the leadership of Musa Hassan Belete. Musa is the chair of the National Executive Committee as the Secretary General, so he's saying clearly. In response, Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence at the Liberty Party headquarters in Buchanan and Grand Bassa last weekend addressed partisans and supporters of her LP faction, with Bassa Senator terming Sim as a recipe for chaos and disturbance in Liberia. She said the statement by Musa Belete is a recipe. You know what recipe? The thing that you can pour in the soup to make it sweet. All the small things that all the yama thing that will happen before the big confusion happen. Recipe for chaos. That's what Yombli said. The thing that Musa Belete is doing is a recipe for chaos. She alleged that in its latest action, the Supreme Court didn't address what was before it, citing the representation of the Associate Justice, who she said had earlier recused himself at the hearing and his signature at the court's recent ruling, as well as she described as the delay in presenting final judgment in the LP leadership field. So the Supreme Court, said the Supreme Court decision is a recipe for chaos because they're not going to take it lightly. We are here today because of these facts. Because of these facts are troubling news for our country, Senator Lawrence said. When the neck cannot act independently or without undue influence, the courts cannot act on what's before them out of fear that justice will jeopardize selfish political aims and objectives of agents and their benefactors that they favor. According to Senator Lawrence, all of these actions are a recipe for chaos and disturbances in a country that needs to focus its attention on good governance and peace building. All of these things that happen, according to her, it's a recipe or it's a reason why there might be chaos. People might turn against each other. You know how some supporters can be very immature. You saw even in the Liberty Party, how they tend to fight each other. For this reason, Charlie Bronson in beginner, nobody know exactly which position which of the party she's anyway. But we know that she will deliver the party because our power from that party, our power legacy. But which of the political parties she's with? We have seen instances and situations where she's not been supported by both of the sides. My fellow partisans and Liberians in Liberia and all over the world, we are very concerned about how to effect change. This is humbly speaking. In such a system for the redemption of this country, even more than how to find a logical conclusion to the Liberty Party saga. She averted that to do so, Liberians cannot fall in what she referred to as the trap of the delay tactics that is intended to keep their focus away from the October 10th general and presidential election. Why? From the very day we heard from the convention that Musa Bede had become chairman of the Liberty Party, we know that Liberty Party finished. You want to know why? We will tell you. Maybe it will be in another video. Liberty Party, the only thing that will happen right now for Liberty Party, the only thing young people can do right now is to bear patience on the Musa Bede time finish. And no amount of money will make to point by again. Because they themselves, they blunder. Seriously blunder. You, the most prominent person in the party, along with Darius DeLong, just sat down and allowed Musa Bede to become the chairman. Why? Why so much money? We always say, you think the money that Musa Bede used to buy all the pickers for the party to build a place. You think that he won't pay that money? Is it because he have money, so you just be spending money? Huh? You know the reason. You know when Belete. You know who is collaborating with Belete. You know the reason why Liberty Party was physically fought. And today is it doesn't seem anytime soon that they were going to come together. Even if they manage to come together, it will be because okay, let's say let's back on, let's go to the election. Even that kind of, when you tie in the bundle, and you fail to tie that thing with effect, you just say let's hold it together and go. And let's see what the breeze will do. When the breeze comes, definitely it will be tearing you when they will split. And if it split, it will split for good. At the end of the day, most likely, that's what I'm happy. That is what is going to happen. Because at this time of the year, it's April. Today is April 20. The opposition stay looking for a way to settle their issues. The opposition stay. Once the liberty, you see, one thing people did not notice. Many people did not notice about this current opposition. This opposition was in a very good position. Yes. This opposition was in a very good position and performing a collaboration at that early stage. It was the best thing they ever did. But it's not possible for this opposition to win the next election. Let us pay a spade. We're not judging or we're not saying it because you have ANC, you have Liberty Party, you have the alternative, not the alternative, but the depending on US party, I will get the name very shortly, however. But you also have the ruling Unity Party. These were the four original members of the collaborating political parties. That was a very fine formation. But amongst these four parties, you know which of the party had the experience and the fan base or the political base without any legitimate political attack was the Liberty Party. The Liberty Party was the most or is the most formidable force in in the form of collaborating party because the Liberty Party was in time. The Liberty Party have gone two successive elections and they won. Let's agree that those four political parties joined together and made direct a senator, right? And vote for Yombly again. Let's agree. But the Liberty Party has proven with records in time immemorial. The Unity Party have already had the leadership. Most Liberians, now when you ask Liberian on a square basis, 10 out of 8 out of 9 will tell you they want to hear about Unity Party again. Even though Joseph Braga can still be, because people still have some feeling or likeness for Braga because of the experience, because of the age, because of the time he's had. People still believe that he can make a good president. But most people would not want to see the Unity Party again in power after all of what Ellen have done. Where the Unity Party know that Ellen did or have done all of those things, up till now they have not managed to bring her to question. And it's not. I don't think in this lifetime it's ever going to happen. Right. So the Liberty Party was the most formidable force in that party. That's why I told you the last time. One of the best things that the best credits that the ruling party. That's the reason why they will not do away with. No matter what America says, they will not do away with Nathaniel Follow Maggie right now because the idea to enter that Liberty Party and break it apart, that was an idea that was formulated. We're not calling him because we can give you the reasons why. And the guys played their game well. They infiltrated the Liberty Party. They pump money into places. They did things in a way that today you see the Liberty Party finish. They split. See, you're being fighting for, and the thing is Supreme Court doing and correct. Liberty Party was the most, when it comes to population base, was the most formidable force in the opposition. That's why you saw when Tyrus Delon, despite his own personal appearances, talk on the Liberty Party, he went to 2 elections and defeated the ruling party. He went to 2 elections and defeated the ruling party. That's what happened because of the Liberty Party. Liberty Party, it was an organized plan to disrupt or maybe dismantle the Liberty Party. And whoever came on that plan, they succeeded. Seriously, if they had not succeeded in dismantling the Liberty Party or splitting it too, as to why that confusion is going on right now. But now the opposition was still being strong. So just imagine the two sides of the Liberty Party. If they finally come together and say, let's forget about differences and join the Unity Party, you think ANC will really matter? Or you think ALP will really matter? It wouldn't matter because the Liberty Party alone are giant. Then you get Unity Party. Unity Party got a lot of people who experience government and they just standing by. They got their supporters. So those two parties alone joining the Liberty Party as one and dumping it into the Unity Party, that's a very strong political background. Very strong one. Very, very strong one. ANC, ALP, those are just feeders. Those are just feeder parties. Let's agree they also have followers, but not as compared to that of Liberty Party or Unity Party. So the idea was the Liberty Party, with the kind of morale and prestige they have, is most likely that they might produce somebody who will be very strong. That's why we always have it in our political archive or political memory that we Liberians should watch out for Darius DeLong. He's on a path. He's on a path because his election victory proved otherwise. Back to back to win an election against a ruling party. Don't overlook it. If the opposition will come together one day at the end of the day Don't be surprised to see that the opposition choosing Darius Delo as a standard bearer. Maybe not now, but maybe in 29 or 2029, or maybe even further, because the opposition needs a face. If Joseph Baga doesn't win the 2023 election, which is most likely will not. Oh yes, which most likely might not happen. Who becomes the face of the opposition going forward? Yombly, Alexander Kumis, of course, he will be there. But the fact that the Liberty Party is now dismantled, Labour Party dismantled. Maybe they will hear them compromising and we say, let's just compromise now because, this is why PDT been waiting for. That the thing that PDT been waiting for. PDT been waiting to hear the Supreme Court and, putting a ruling in his favor. PDT been waiting. PDT will not leave that thing easily. You think the man after they finish doing the World of Wars, they finish battling, they finish tussling over that thing, the man finally get it, man will leave it. It's not possible. It's not possible. Make it leave it. Make it leave it. That is one of the number one mistake they made. How really you just outsource. You outsource the chairmanship to somebody. There are a lot of issues in that. That's why they will be regretting their own actions. When the marriage was sweet, they were hands in hands. Now the marriage are falling apart. They don't want to see each other, and it's not possible that they will come together. Even if they do come together, what fear did they bring to the ruling party? The ruling party are not joking, oh. The men are not joking. You don't know what is going on. You're not going to know what is going on right now because you're not seeing. All you do is to talk and make noise. We who have the eyes, we who have the opportunity to come on this platform and talk, we are seeing gradually things are happening. That's why we say moving the ruling party that is in power aggressively, politically aggressive. You think they will just they will just leave it at that? It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. So we will just try to wind down right now. We gotta go. I just tried to stop by this morning or this afternoon or this day, to have us to talk. We will continue this discussion probably later on today or maybe tomorrow because this is something that's very important worth talking about. We're following all of the political dynamics in Liberia and we're looking at the signs. The signs continue to show that the opposition continue to get weakened every day. The opposition continue to become weak because they're not giving the Liberians the reasons. The opposition is not giving Liberians the reason, to have a clear mind on what to do. People keep, I don't vote for them, I don't vote for them. You continue to do that, people will be hesitant. Liberians are people who they leave first impression. You lost the first impression already. Consistently, you keep saying or doing things that are unnecessary. We want to leave you here, but let's hope that you keep following KaeTv. We'll be back here another time. Let's hope that we'll always have the opportunity to talk, and be able to be with you in subsequent time. Until then, my name is Cyrus. Do have yourself a pleasant day.